What is up, my friends and fellow collectors out there? 2020 is almost over. Thank God. Thank the Force. But before this year is out, I wanted to share with you guys my top 10 Star Wars statues. Let's do this. Thanks for joining me for another top 10 video. If this is your first time on the channel, we do a lot of talk of collecting, statue reviews, hot toys reviews, toy hunts. We do a lot of different things. If you're into all of that kind of stuff, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can stay up to date on all of the content. All right, so my top 10 Star Wars statues. So before I get started with this list, this is my personal opinion, and also these are statues that are available currently out on the market. People have done reviews on them. I have done reviews on them. I've seen many of these statues in person. None of the statues on my list are pieces that you can pre-order currently at Sideshow or at XM Studios. None of that. I don't take and do reviews on, or I don't take and include in a top 10 list pieces that are on pre-order, because generally when you see a prototype of something, especially coming from Sideshow, what you get final in hand hardly ever looks like the prototype that they're showing you in person, in the pictures and all that other stuff. So while I think Sideshow has a lot of awesome stuff on pre-order, a lot of the stuff that I currently have on pre-order, I'm not going to include that in this top 10 list. But what I am going to do is, after the top 10 list, I'm going to share with you guys my most anticipated pieces for 2021. So with all that out of the way, let's get to this. All right, so this list is in no specific order. I love all of these statues pretty much equally. So let's just kick off the list. My first one on the list is the Darth Vader Mythos statue. This is from Sideshow. It's an older piece. Came out about 4 or 5 years ago, I think, roughly about there. Awesome statue. This one initially cost around $350, I believe, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. But the statue itself is fantastic. It's one of the only pieces that I have that has a really different feel for Darth Vader. Most of the time when you get a Darth Vader statue, you know, you either have him force choking somebody, he's holding his belt, you know, he's attacking with his lightsaber. This one here has him holding his helmet, and it shows him contemplating the decisions that he's made in the past, you know, which brought him to his current situation. I love that he's standing on that base, you know, and you have the flames and the lava kicking up from Mustafar beneath him. And what I love about these Mythos statues is that Sideshow really did an amazing job with the paint work on these pieces. You have so much tones and shading going along the entire piece that it just gives it a really awesome lifelike feel. So, you know, in comparison to even the new ones, some of these statues are just, you know, timeless. They're really great pieces to have in your collection. Definitely one to pick up. All right, so keeping up with the Mythos statues, the next one on my list is the Obi-Wan Kenobi Mythos statue. Now, of the line, this one is my favorite statue in the Mythos line. The reasoning is because it's just so freaking neat with all of the armors and pieces that he has on his book bag, the lightsabers that he has in hand. He has his version of the lightsaber from the Clone Wars, the one that you see Alec Guinness wearing or holding in the A New Hope movie. The other thing about the statue that I like is that you have two swap out portraits, one that looks like Alec Guinness and the other one that looks like Ewan McGregor. And I think they did a great job on both of those. The statue itself looks like it's sand swept. It has wind blowing. It's the biggest of the Mythos statues to have, especially in width, because of how his cloak bellows out into the wind. And if you have the lightsaber in hand, it extends it even more. So that's something to think about if you're trying to put this in your display. But it's a classic piece. Another really awesome statue from Sideshow. All right, so the next one on my list, another Mythos statue, is the Boba Fett Mythos statue from Sideshow. Now, this one for me is my favorite Boba Fett statue to have. Now, I know there are others out there, and there's another one on my list that is super dynamic, and I think that one's really fantastic as well. But this one here just has an extreme presence to it. I love the base. I love how the rock formation protrudes outside of that museum-style base that all of the original Mythos statues have. I also like that if you look at all of the accessories that they have around him, you know, you can see things like the Wookiee hairs, lightsabers that he has, so he's killed some Jedi, so that's really cool. I like that they include the jetpack, you know, which is dope, and I think that came out really good. Again, with all of the Mythos statues, the paint job on this one is outstanding. It has a sand swept type of feel, similar to the way that the Obi-Wan Kenobi has all kinds of shading and weathering in the armor, so it gives it that real Star Wars feel that it's supposed to have. You have two swap out hands, one holding a smaller gun, which I believe is the concept of the E11. He has the E11 in the other hand, and then he also has this huge rifle, which is the way I pose him. It just makes him look even cooler, I think, having that big rifle in hand. And then, you know, he has that appearance that he's scouting for his prey, which I think is dope. It's because, you know, as a bounty hunter, he's out hunting people. So I think that's dope that they have him like that. So for me, another really badass figure right there, the statue of the Mythos Boba Fett. All right, so these next three ladies on my list are considered grails, at least to me. I think to a lot of Star Wars fans out there that collect the statues. So these are all premium format figures. The first one on the list is the Aayla Secura premium format figure. Now this one here is a very difficult statue to get. It's not just that it's priced very high, it hardly ever shows up on eBay or in the BSTs. She's a very difficult one. Of the three, probably the most difficult to get. So what I love about this one is that it features her just as she looked in Revenge of the Sith. So right at the beginning or at the end of the Clone Wars, just before the Galactic Empire takes over and Order 66 goes down. So she's about to get killed here on Felucia. The base has the Felucia style scenery. So you have these like mushrooms and little weird alien things popping up, gives it some nice vibrant color. I love the outfit. The cut and sew on this one I think was done pretty well. The blue on her skin I think is very, very vibrant. And then it features a light up lightsaber. So a very elegant piece to own. If you have your chance to pick up one, definitely get this one. The next one's the easiest of the three to get. This is the Shaak Ti premium format figure. Now, she is the easiest of the three to get and also my favorite of the three. So the reason why I like this one so much is because it comes from the video game The Force Unleashed. This is the way she looked in that video game. I like that they show her this way. It's because in the movies, they kind of always show her very cloaked, you know, so you don't really get to see her, you know, full body. And she is very beautiful. I love the vibrant colors of her. She has this really awesome orange red toned skin, and then you have the tendrils that are white and blue, and it gives it a nice contrast and pop. The outfit looks really cool. The exclusive here features her holding the lightsaber of Starkiller, who is the one hunting her down at this point. And it shows her on the base, you know, which gives it this storytelling style base, and it has the skull in there and some horns and things like that. And then it has the light up lightsaber that goes along with it. Another one that I'm trying to hunt down, and it is an amazing piece. All right, so the next one on my list is the most difficult to get, not because she doesn't show up all that often, but just because she's priced very highly. For the better part, most people have this one priced way over $2,000, which makes it very difficult for most of us to get. This is the Darth Talon premium format figure. Now this one here is a beautiful statue, very sexy. I love the vibrance and color. You have that red tone to her skin, and then you have those black tattoos, which give it a really nice contrast. The pose is very sexy with her kind of turned and looking back at you. Has a light up lightsaber, very elegant and simple base, not too much going on there. The exclusive featured a cloak. Now you don't necessarily need to buy the exclusive, you know, because generally it's priced a little higher. If you just want to get the statue, and you can get a custom cloak made, the cloaks are not all that expensive to get, so you can make it look like the exclusive if that's what you want to do. Now, something to note about this statue, the light up on this lightsaber is the weakest of the three, and it makes it, you know, if you're into showing the statues with the light up on, it makes it look bad. The light up, in my opinion, just looks extremely bad. Even with the lights off, you can barely tell that it's turned on. So that's something to consider if you're looking to pick this one up. But if you're like me and you just want to take and put the statue up there with no lights on, it's a really awesome piece to own. So that's it, the Darth Talon premium format figure. All right, this next one on my list is an extremely awesome statue that I reviewed. It is the Savage Opress premium format figure. Now this one here is super cool. It's another statue that you're probably not going to see Sideshow make again, considering that he died during the Clone Wars. This is the brother of Darth Maul. Now, what I love about this statue is the pose, the lightsaber, the base. The base looks fantastic. It's simple, but it shows the top of the base kind of like angled because Savage has cut it in half. Has some light up features in the base with some flickering lights to give you that effect, like that whatever he hit, you know, has some damage to it. So it shows that the lightsaber lights up, and this one is one of those that lights up from the hilt out. So it gives it a really awesome effect when it goes to light up. Definitely cool to see. It's bright, so when you see it in the dark, you know, the lightsaber lights up very brightly. I think they did a great job with that. His pose is super cool. He looks menacing. He's a big character, much bigger than Darth Maul was. And then you have that skin tone of his, which has got that really bright yellowish color to him, and then the black and brownish tattoos and those huge horns. So really awesome figure to own. If you haven't seen it in person, you definitely should. It's really cool. The Savage Opress premium format figure. All right, and the next two on my list are the most dynamic Star Wars statues that you could pick up. Both of them are from XM Studios. Both of them I've just reviewed recently. And the first one is the XM Studios Darth Maul. Now this one is super cool. Has him looking like he did at the middle to beginning of the Phantom Menace, where you see him on the sands of Tatooine going to attack Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin Skywalker. So I think that looks really neat. Shows him jumping off of his speeder bike. The only thing going on with it here is that they didn't make it so that the blades would light up, and they also didn't make it where you could remove one of the blades out, because in the movie he didn't actually show that he had a double-bladed lightsaber until the end of the Phantom Menace. Other than that, everything else is really, really awesome with this piece. It's very, very dynamic, really awesome, really cool looking flowing cloak. Very neat looking statue to have in your collection. The only thing I could say about this piece is that it takes up an enormous amount of space with the lightsaber blade and then him jumping forward. You need a lot of depth in order to store this statue if you want to take and put it in on your display. But if you can, it's super cool to have in your collection. All right, and that brings me to my favorite quarter scale version of Boba Fett. So this one here, the XM Studios Boba Fett, has him with the jetpacks firing back, looking like he's either about to land or he's, shooting backwards. And then you have the swap out hands with him, where he can either be holding his E11 in one hand or the blaster of his father, of Jango Fett. You could have him holding that gun. You could have him with a flamethrower or another pistol in the opposite hand. So I just think that's really neat how you give you these options to display this statue. So I think that's awesome. The look of him reminds me a little bit of the look from Return of the Jedi. So he has that kind of Return of the Jedi feel, especially with the E11 blaster looking the way it does. And the base has so much going on with to give it that feel, like a Star Wars feel, where the whole base is kind of like, tearing apart as he's either, like I said, landing or taking off as he's firing up. And then even in the back plates, they put the Mandalorian symbol that he has, that Mythosaur skull symbol that he has on his shoulder blade. So really cool looking statue. If you haven't seen this one in person, this is a definite must, especially if you're a Boba Fett statue collector. This is a definite must to have in the collection. All right, and then you have the Iron Studios Darth Vader. Now, this one here is one that I've been hunting down. It's a very difficult statue to get. It's gone up in value quite a bit. What I love about this statue here is that, one, it features a light up feature. So there's only two of them that actually do that. I think there's the Sideshow premium format, not the last one, but the one before that had a light up feature. And then you have this one here, and then otherwise you'd have to go into like Hot Toys. I don't think they made any other premium formats that have the light up lightsaber. But this one has a really awesome look, is because he's walking through the snow on Hoth, gives it that whole Empire Strikes Back kind of feel. And I love that Iron Studios has this like thing they do with snow, where you have the snow on the boots and then some of it on his cape. So it gives it that weathered kind of look to it. It looks like he's like wandering through Hoth before he actually makes it to the base. And he just looks like he's about to plow through a whole bunch of rebel troopers, on his way to try to capture Han Solo. So really awesome looking statue. Does have some other light up features, I believe, in the base itself, so it gives it a little bit more effect. Very wide and deep statue to own if that's one that you're going to pick up, but awesome statue nonetheless. The Darth Vader Iron Studio statue. All right, and that's my top 10 list of the Star Wars statues that you could pick up right now. As promised, I'm going to share with you guys now my most anticipated statues with 2021, and starting out with the one that I already got an email from Sideshow, so you're going to see this one here in January. It's the Asajj Ventress Mythos statue. Now this one was sculpted by the Kuharek brothers. It is a phenomenal looking piece. I cannot wait to see this one in person. It doesn't look anything like the other Mythos statues. That's the only thing that I could say. The base doesn't match up with the previous ones, but the base has so much going on there, and the look of her, the red cloak, the whole thing of it, it just is super awesome. I can't wait to see this one in person, and I pray to God that it looks everything like what I've seen in the photographs and on the Sideshow Con. So I'm really hoping that one looks just like it did there, because it just looks beautiful. I think I'm gonna cry when I see that one. All right, and then we have the Darth Maul Mythos statue, also sculpted by the Kuharek brothers. Now, the Darth Maul Mythos statue, I know I gave it some flack earlier in the year, and mostly because I was a little upset that we just didn't get a different character, and I still feel that way. I still feel like, you know, we should continue on with the Mythos line and not recreate characters that we already have in the Mythos line. But I'm not going to delve into that too much. I still think the statue is done really, really nicely. The sculpting on this one looks fantastic. Features him with the metal legs, so it's something in the area of the Clone Wars or towards the end of the Clone Wars. So that's something that would be cool to see. Really dynamic pose. He poses really well with the Asajj Ventress statue. So I think it's going to be a really awesome piece to have. And then it has a swap out portrait where you can see the horns that are a little bit more exaggerated, like he looked when he was brought back in the Clone Wars. So really awesome statue. Another one that I hope to get real soon to review, the Darth Maul Mythos statue. Next one is the Sideshow Rancor statue. Now this one's already been delayed a few times. It was supposed to actually, already have it by August, I think, or October, I think, but super huge statue. So this is one that is probably gonna be the biggest statue that I'm gonna have on order for 2021. Massive looking piece. I've always been a fan of the Rancor. I didn't know that I wanted to get it though because of the price. It's very expensive at $1,300, but I already have the Luke Skywalker. I have the Jabba the Hutt, and these are figures, or these are toys that I used to have as a kid. So I think it's awesome that I'm going to be able to have all these toys now just looking more grander and with much more detail. And I think that's why I picked up the Rancor. So I saw this one also at the Sideshow Con, and I think it looked really good. So definitely, I'm really excited to see this one when it comes in. All right, and then we have the Mandalorian premium format figure. Now this one's been getting a lot of flack because of the whole swag pose, but I kind of like it. I like the way that looks. There's also the Iron Studios Mandalorian statue that I'm probably gonna get to so we can see a comparison of the two. But I like the way it looks. I love that they have Grogu in the pram, and it looks like it's floating the way they did that. I like the whole engineering of that, of having that on the cape. So it's a cool looking piece in my opinion. I think it's going to be something that once you get it in hand, that people are going to like it a lot more once we get it in hand. So definitely looking forward to getting that one, the Mandalorian premium format figure. All right, and these next two announcements, you know, we got no images to go on. Still excited about it, but the Ahsoka Tano premium format figure was announced recently, and I'm like, woohoo! You know, we're gonna get a premium format figure of it. I'm a little bit disappointed that it's not a Mythos statue. You know, the Kuharek brothers have been doing a super fantastic job with all of the Mythos statues that they've been doing, and I was really hoping that they would get the opportunity to work on Ahsoka. That going to a premium format figure has me a little bit worried, is because I know that they're going to be trying to push the whole Mandalorian vibe with her. So she's going to look a lot like Rosario Dawson, which I have no problem as long as Sideshow can make that portrait look like Rosario Dawson. If they can pull that off, then I think that statue is going to sing. But so far we don't have any pictures to go on, so I'm not going to take and down it just yet. Just saying that the track record hasn't been great. So I'm hoping that that one looks good. So definitely anticipating the look of the Ahsoka Tano premium format figure. All right, in this last announcement, I saw Brian Tan make a comment about it. XM Studios is going to be releasing more Star Wars statues with their Boba Fett, their Darth Maul, and their Luke Skywalker statues. I think those were amazing looking statues. Very awesome looking pieces to own if you're into Star Wars and you like the XM Studios line. XM Studios has super low edition sizes, which I think are good. Obviously, some dynamic looks to their pieces are great. So I think that if they continue that, it's going to make those look really, really awesome. And you know what I love the most is we have a competition for quarter scale. So hopefully those will be available in the United States. I'm hoping, because the others were not. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go through back avenues to try to find it. But definitely highly anticipating some announcements from XM Studios for Star Wars. All right, and that's it. That's my two lists, my top 10 and my most anticipated. Interested to hear what your guys' thoughts on them. What is your top 10 Star Wars statues? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, guys, Happy New Year. Keep it marvelous, and may the Force be with you.